Hey guys, how you doing? I'm gonna talk about pixels and resolution today, based on some trouble that Christian was having with some of his images. Nothing went wrong. He just had trouble understanding what was going on. So, since I didn't cover it before, I think it's important that I do cover it. So we're going to talk about resolution and pixels and pixel dimension. Notice that the images I'm saving from Google here are around the 1000 by 600, 700 range. I'm trying to pick a whole bunch of them, and you'll see me save a bunch of them. And very few. I tried to get some that covered a range, but I wasn't very lucky. I'm looking at one of my favorite concept artists, Scott Robertson, and most of his images come out around the same, like 1100, 1600 by 800 range. Hopefully you'll see me save a small one, and let me open up these in Photoshop and we'll take a look. So I'm arranging all of these in Windows, float all in Windows, just like we did our cropping tool exercise. And if you notice especially, I want y'all to pay attention to the percentage of zoom, which is up at the top here. Notice that most of these images I have are already at 100%. Well, what does that tell you? That tells you that is the largest you can go without you start zooming in past its born resolution. So you'll start to get pixelated after 100%. So it's what the file was saved as in that dimension at 100%. If I open up image image size, let's take a look here. We have dimensions here in inches. Looks like 26 by 19 or something like that at 72 resolution. That makes sense. It was saved on the internet, so most images are at 72. But you also have pixel dimension, px. Let's look at another one. We'll look at this one. Go to image, image size. And let's look at this one. We have image size. It's a little over a meg. And we have display. Notice that the inches dimension is smaller than the previous. Let's look at another one. Image size. So here we go. We can see the actual file size and the dimensions and the inches size. Now the difference between dimensions, which is in pixels, and the dimensions, which are in inches, is one, the pixel dimension are usually the screen dimensions, and the inches dimension are usually if you print it out. So if I printed this out, it would be at that size it says. But something very important, if I print this out on a printer that I have here at home, it's at 72 resolution, and that's not good, right? That's not high enough resolution to get a good quality print. Now, that some of these sizes are huge. Some of these sizes are huge, way past what my printer can print. Like some of them were at like 25 inches by 17 inches. I mean, that's way bigger than my printer can handle here at home. So it is quite possible that I could scale that image down and increase resolution, and it would be at a better quality. I'm going to go ahead and pull up rulers here, which is Command R. And I'm changing my rulers just by right-clicking on them and changing them to pixels. And I want to show you what happens when I crop something. Notice that we can see the pixel dimensions using our ruler, and we can kind of roughly estimate how big our image is based on what our ruler has. When I crop this, I can actually crop this to an exact dimension without having to input anything in the options bar. So in our class exercise, we put in 100 pixels by 100 pixels at 72 resolution. But I can also do this by dragging. You can see the pixel dimensions are up there displayed while I drag. Now watch what happens here when I crop something really small, and it actually enlarges that smaller crop. And look how fuzzy that is. And it's because I cropped an area that was too small for it to handle. So it's basically cropping a smaller area that's a smaller area than 100 by 100 pixels. So let's say it was like 72 by 72 pixels. It actually is going to enlarge that crop because I chose to have it at 100 pixels by 100 pixels. And it's actually scaling that up and making that image blurry. So Christian was actually cropping some images that were small to begin with, or his crop was very small and it actually enlarged some of that small cropping area, so that when he finally accepted the crop, it was all fuzzy. Here I've cropped something and it's nice and crisp. Oh no, that one's fuzzy too. It's easier to tell on smaller sized images because you don't have such a large area to crop down from. But here I'm cropping, again, a really small area. And let's see if this becomes fuzzy. Maybe this guy's head. And that's a little bit fuzzy. It's difficult to tell because, again, we're cropping at such a small amount. But here I chose even a smaller area, and that's a little bit fuzzy. So I think I'm going back here right now and trying to look for an image that's smaller in size. Remember that we can view the size of an image by highlighting it. And it will give us the dimension. I actually just saved that. I'm going to pull it up right now. And look how small that is. That image is compared to the other images that we have. So that when I do a crop, I'm already dealing with a small image. So let's see how big this is. Ooh, even the file size is small. The pixel dimension is small. So I'm already dealing with a small image and small pixel range or pixel dimension. And I'm just going to do a small crop here. And let's see how this turns out. I think that turned out okay. Let's see what happens when I go really small. There's a little bit of fuzziness there, and that's because I went too small again. Okay, so just be conscious of that. I think the most important thing is to keep in mind the dimensions, the resolution, and just keep all of that in mind. Look at your zoom percentage. Keep all of this in mind when you save images.